Grand Rising. Thank you all for joining us for another exciting Wednesday edition of the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. I'm your host today, Naima Latif, and we've, as always, got a special guest for you, somebody who's making life work for a lot of folks that need some help. But this is an exciting entrepreneur, a person who is a philanthropist, and he'll be coming to Chicago to receive a special honor in July. But first, let us greet our viewers. And if you'd like to join us, just simply call in 727-731-5192 or join us on our Facebook and YouTube page and write in your comments, and we'll be right back.
Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution.
Yes, this is the Female Solution, and we couldn't have a solution without some great men. Well, our guest today is a man with a vision. He's a philanthropist, meaning he gives money and time and effort from his heart. But he's also an extraordinary human being that is one who uses his talents and skills in order to generate money as an entrepreneur. He's been involved in corporate America as well as his own enterprise. And now we're going to hear about the Canary Affair, which is a means to reach out to the downtrodden, those people who have been cast aside, scorned, and forgotten, but really need a helping hand. So we want to introduce to you a man who will soon be receiving an honorary doctorate degree for his humanitarian work at the We Dream in Color Humanitarian and Unity celebration here at the DuSable Black History Museum, July 19th. But we want you to get to know him first, because he's making a difference in the lives of people, not just in America, but around the world. Let me introduce to you my dear brother, Dr. Willie Devon Williams. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, my sister. Good morning. How are you?
I am excellent and so pleased to be here with you. We're excited to have you give your wonderful story to our audience. Now, of course, you were recently featured in the Celina Celebrity magazine as one of the dignitaries who will be honored in the upcoming We Dream in Color Humanitarian and Unity celebration coming to Chicago this July 19th. And it's exciting because we get an opportunity to get to know you as one who is making a difference worldwide. It's always exciting for people who are doing good work to get recognized. And we definitely appreciate the fact that you have been so diligent over a number of years and are now, for some people, being recognized for the things that you're doing. and are giving us an opportunity to get to know you as someone who is always looking upwards. So this edition of the Celina Celebrity Magazine highlights much of your work. But tell us a bit about the Canary Affair that you founded, and what was your motivation for creating this organization?
Actually, there was two motivations. One was first my mother. She used to feed people in the home every Sunday, whether we went to church or not, or whether she did. I don't know how she did it. Looking back, we were raised with very menial funds in the beginning. My mother got her career job at 36. The running joke in the family, she stayed 36 for 10 years because every birthday she was 36 all over again. And usually the meals consisted of somehow two meats, with one being chicken. But she would say, no matter where you are, what you're doing, and what has happened to you in life, that if you stay to the course, God will give you the wisdom, the financial savvy. No, I didn't say wealth, financial
Mhm.
savvy, and the ability to tread through the turmoils, the struggles of life. So that was one that lingered in my head. And then working and traveling as I did with the job that I had for many years, it turned out to be, it was when you see people walk past somebody that asks for a quarter or a dollar or a cup of coffee or a drink, and you see somebody's attitude simply say, they need to get a job. All these jobs, why they're not working. It began to spark a great interest into me as to why wasn't they working? Why couldn't they work? What was going on for them to be out in the heat, the cold, all those elements, the rain and the snow, for the sake of asking for a quarter or a dollar a cup of coffee, and people could look down upon them because we had our suits and ties on. I didn't look down upon them, but I was in that group that had the suit and tie and was with those that walked past. And so I began to say, listen, somehow the corporate America, we put a band-aid on what we see, and we throw money at it, but we don't throw a cure or an effort to fix it. And that's what made me begin to spin the wheels for the Canary Affair.
Mm. Well, that's very impressive because so many people don't have compassion, especially if they have never experienced lack and have never been at their lowest point in life. But you have certainly been at the highest point and have had a lucrative career. Tell us a bit about your background in terms of, first of all, your start in corporate America. You've been in leadership positions, supervisory positions, worked with some major corporations. Tell us a bit about your history as a leader in corporate America, and then how that transitioned to being an entrepreneur.
Well, I fell into it by happenstance. I started, I've always, whenever I started a job, saying what could be the next level. And being a person that went to school, stopped, and then went back and went full throttle. So when I started working in the corporate world, the first one was, before rolling over into the psychology, the first one was medical insurance for years and years and years. And got on board with a wonderful company. I got introduced that was CSRG. They got bought out by Ross Perot, who, when I was working with him a long lifetime ago, he was running for president. We met with him twice, and his inspiration and his motivation still pushed me to say, what can I do? The company allowed us to travel all through the US to do auditing of all the insurance companies. We call them the Blues, Blue Cross and Blue Shield, United Healthcare, Cigna, Health Net, Health Partners, whatever they were, when they were struggling with a problem to open. But then I began to even see with that, doing everything under that umbrella, from plan building to begin to work my way up to project manager. I met people throughout the entire US. When I went to a project, it may be 13, it may be 21. I think the most I've ever had probably was close to 27 people, that some came from California, some came from New York, some came from Mississippi. So a different group of people with different personalities to get a job done. But what I began to see again was the masking of how, even within the insurance world, that stems from the medical world, that stems from the lesser side of society, we begin to put a band-aid on the marginalized, the downtrodden. We'll throw them a pill, we'll throw them a band-aid, and then we will cast them away. So I got into that, and then I went on board with being just doing volunteers with the Alliance to End Homelessness. Me and you discussed that privately. You know, I think it's a wonderful thing. I wish I would have discovered it. A multi-million-dollar nonprofit. You will never end homelessness, but they help a lot. But a wonderful title. And so coming on board and coming back to North Carolina and joining the one here, I met a wonderful woman named Kay Hagan that was then going to run for governor. And so I got involved with her. And in this journey, in traveling from, oh my God, we went everywhere with under Ross Perot and CSRG. Prior to all that, by living in DC for so many years, I ran across people like Monique. I've met friends of friends here in North Carolina that I've got to rub elbows with, people that, you know, are celebrities, that their words have just been absolutely encouraging to see where their life started. Because you can start at one place that you're written off and end up at another place where you're written on above and beyond. So my working career caused me to travel all over to one-horse towns that I couldn't even get a haircut because I was a person of color. They didn't have a black barber. Yeah. So it encouraged me even more to say there is a greater need than just putting a Band-Aid on something and walking away from it. And that's what encouraged me as well. Dr. Barbara L. King, you guys, if you don't have this book, buy it. It's old, but it is lifelong. Transform your life. She was a wonderful woman, as I shared with a wonderful, provocative Bible study. You can ask questions. So that was a lot of my working journey, was under the CSRG, traveling, and then every now and then we would go aboard with a different agency. You never saw home a lot.
Yes, yeah, being on the road, that's a certain kind of career. And we've got a few comments here, and certainly want to bring them up. And you've got quite a few folks there. You've got Jacqueline. Said, I'm on, looking forward to hearing from you. Fantastic. Yes. And Lawrence Lenore says, good morning, my friend. Yes. Thank you so much, Lawrence. He's and we're breakdown to breakthrough. Yes. Yes. Well, we also have a comment from Dr. Quentin D. Alexander, who says, Grand Rising, Dr. Williams, and future Dr. Lateef. Today is a day of lifting and empowering and balanced support. Have a great show.
Thank you, my friend.
Absolutely.
He was the inspiration as well.
Yes. Well, of course, he is the mastermind behind the upcoming We Dream in Color Humanitarian and Unity celebration that's recognizing individuals from all across the world who are doing humanitarian work in the various fields and making a difference in the lives of people. So how did you and Dr. Alexander first connect?
Young, not knowing our fate, our journey, feeling it out. 35 years ago, I knew that he was brilliant in his talent, and I saw his full vision. And when he met me, he says, you're this package of a person I don't get. I'm kind of a nerd. And he said, and so we kind of bonded from there. And I used to, naive, I used to say, why don't you want to open a brick and mortar? Because I've seen the talent. We all know, if those of you who don't know, he started off, and he still is, a wonderful designer, fashion creator. And I used to try to push in that direction. And so I'm pushing him in that direction, and he's pushing me over here in the other direction. And then separation, I went to work here. He left Washington, D.C., came to Chicago and started on that journey. I started on this journey, and still a connection here and there. So it was young people meeting, finding their way and figuring out, but seeing the light in each other and saying, you're going to pursue, you're going to get there. Yeah. And so here we are. But I the giving, I mean, I've seen him give, people don't get it. But when you are a designer, especially then, just like being a young, starving artist, when you're making clothing and his clothing is no longer, I can't say the word cheap, he'd kill me. It is of a different financial tone. But then the things I've seen him make for people and give them for free.
Yes. It takes a certain kind of heart, because I've seen his work and had the opportunity to model his work, and definitely it is exclusive, one of a kind kinds of designs coming from a creative mind. So when you give that, that is a tremendous value. But one of the reasons why you're being honored is because of the tremendous energy that you have given, especially, as you've said, to those who are marginalized and dismissed. And that takes a lot of heart, because so many people look at those people with disdain. So we're going to take a quick break. We want to greet our global family listening from all around the world.
Yes.
Invite you all to listen in, call in 727-731-5192, because we want to hear from you. And we'll be right back after this quick greeting of our global family. And then we'll hear more about the work that it takes to actually heal the broken hearts of those who need help. We'll be right back after this quick break. So stick and stay.
We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Peleo. In South Africa, Sawubona. In Senegal, Nangadef. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, Palestine, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all. Join us live on the on-air radio network called 727-731-5192. We want to talk to you.
Yes, we do want to talk to you, and we want you to talk to us too. And we're back. I'm Naima Latif, and you are listening to and watching the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. Our guest today is Dr. Willie Devon Williams, and he will be getting another doctorate title at the upcoming grand historic We Dream in Color Humanitarian and Unity celebration at the DuSable Museum, Saturday, July 19th. We want to make sure you're there too. So you need to get your tickets, and you can certainly give us a call. We'll tell you more about that as we progress, because this is going to be a historic occasion. Many people who are being honored there have done some groundbreaking work, and you have demonstrated that a person can change the way people are seen just by the way you treat them. So now, how has your work in corporate America and as an entrepreneur prepared you for the work that you're doing now with the Canary Affair?
Oh, understanding the losses and gains of finances, for one.
Mm,
Understanding that when you embark on a journey of helping and healing, and it turns in the form of a nonprofit, there is no immediate, if ever, financial gain from it. It is a gain from a humanitarian standpoint. So those that are fortunate and lucky to get grants or funding, and certainly don't misuse them, you understand the work it took you to get there. And in such a state as North Carolina, where it's very difficult to get funding for your nonprofit, especially if you are of color, it changes that dynamic of it all. And so then you realize, yes, you have to do what you have to do. And so corporate shows you that you have to, and as well as my mother taught us, you have to set aside for that rainy day, prepare for the many tears that will fall, and learn that no matter what your dietary taste is, be it steak or lobster, in this journey, you might have a whole lot of wonderful, which I love them, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and soup. So you can have some others until you arrive. So
yes.
so
Well,
that's what prepared me for the financial gain. And then it prepared me for then working with a diversified group of people. Although you may be helping them, they don't work for you or not even with you, but you assisting them. And so getting to know different personalities and trying to understand and meet them where they are, whether you can go on the journey with them or not, but you meet them where they are and try to guide them in a way as long as they're willing.
mm,
So
yes.
corporate taught me that, yes.
Yeah, and that's an important lesson to learn. Of course, we've got some more comments here from some of those who are cheering you on, and we definitely agree. As Kelp says, "Good morning, Dr. Williams. So very proud of you and your work."
Thank
Yeah,
you.
and Jacqueline Hunter Richard says, "You have such a good heart for people. Continue with your blessings."
That's the educator. That is my beloved friend that everybody has a backstory, and she is a principal, and she brings it hard and heavy to her students. Yes,
Ah,
yes.
and abundant ab rebound. It
That
says,
was my designer.
"Woo-hoo!"
Yeah, that's my designer, business partner in Abuja, Nigeria.
Ah, yes.
So nice to know that he's listening.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely. So as we say, we reach the world. And you know, the exciting thing, especially with this upcoming event, is that we get a chance to actually express the unity, the global unity, those who are of one mind in lifting up humanity. This is really what the work is all about. And everybody who has taken their craft, their skills, their vision, and done something that is uplifting the lives of others. These are the kinds of people that are being honored with doctorates and in awards. And I understand since you're already a doctor, but you'll be receiving another award at the upcoming event for the work that you're doing. And it really does encourage other people to reach out and maybe come out of their comfort zone and do something for someone else. Now, I'm sure you've got some success stories of people who may have been down and out and uh, encountered the Canary Affair and were able to lift themselves up. Do you have some success stories you'd like to share with us? People who
I do. There's always, some you don't necessarily won't share names, but sometimes it's not the actual person, but is the person that's kin to them. One of the stories is I had a mother, who came to me and was talking to me, and it was in the vicinity of some work that I was doing, and she has only one child. She went through a divorce, and her son was brilliant in all his years through school until college. And then when he got to college, it's very easy to say that your child got in with the wrong crowd, but it's not oftentimes the wrong crowd. It's just something that they begin to express what was always in them. So what was happening with her son is this new behavior, or what really wasn't new, but was overlooked. And he started having the way that he would look at things. If you were to fall and hurt yourself, he would laugh. His emotions were different than what is perceived to be normal, whatever that may be, but let's say standard. And she just couldn't figure out what was going on. Things began to deteriorate. He just began to get out there. So I began to say, if you can just let me just perhaps talk to him one time and meet with him. So we did. And we talked, and I began to ask him not about the behavior, but what is it that he was feeling that caused this behavior. Well, in summary, after talking to him, and then he came back to me one time, we were pretty cool. I talk to young people like I'm young, I'm silly in that way with them. And what was discovered, what was often overlooked, he has Asperger's. So, which is now labeled as a different form of, not so much lupus, but it's their behaviors, brilliantly intelligent. That's why it's often overlooked. But the line of behavior that he displayed, and then to be a recluse, he was very much an introvert. So it was hard for her to understand how he got in with the wrong crew. So, and working through that, so he's become a wonderful long distance truck driver. Because that affords him the opportunity to not be around people, to work, make money, brilliant at what he does. But he still has some of those struggles. But because we found out what that was, it became absolutely wonderful, because once you diagnose it and you deal with it, then you can heal from it and work through it. So I love that, because now she was at peace. She couldn't rest. She couldn't sleep, not worrying about where either her son was or what he was doing, or the things that he found humor in as far as people getting hurt. I mean, they could be in an automobile accident. She can understand how he had no compassion and he would laugh. So she's one, we got him back on target, and with the help of her. There was a couple that were sleeping in their car, and here we go again with people saying they're lazy. They don't understand. He dropped out of school. His mom couldn't make him go to school. He has this girlfriend, and they end up having a child. But, it's so easy to talk at people rather than to people.
Yes.
So when we went to the place where they were in the car, and I knocked on the window and asked them, I said, "Hey, are you guys hungry?" And they said, "Well, no, yeah, we really haven't had anything to eat." I said, "Come on, let's go have a fun. We'll start off with a fun cheat meal. It's McDonald's, okay, and we can sit and talk, and we can pull up your Wi-Fi." So they did, and through that conversation, the reason that he struggled to get through school is because he was dyslexic.
Oh.
And nobody knew.
Wow.
And the reason um, she was a runaway that found him and they found each other. The reason she was a runaway because she was being molested in her home.
Oh my.
So rather than stay there, and her mother, you never know. I'm not going to say her mother knew or didn't know, but her mother didn't listen when she was saying. And they found each other. But what I saw about them was the light. Two young people in love, in need. And one, the guy, somebody telling him you're nothing, you're lazy. The young lady, she's promiscuous, she's just wild, she doesn't want to listen. And nobody obtained the backstory. So I talked to them. I talked to a buddy of mine that worked at a staffing agency. I said, they have little to no experience. You're going to have to work with them. The good thing about them, they were not temperamental young people. They would listen, but they would lash back, of course, if somebody didn't understand, from where they was coming from. And so we got them the job. I reached out, and that's part of the Canary Affair. If we don't do it, we guide you to places. So I searched private, not so much me wanting, I'm not having anything against the system, but not so much me wanting them on the system. I wanted them to have a private landlord so they can learn to pay bills without a system paying it for them. So I found them a place, found them a 1-bedroom that this gentleman did it on behalf of me. And when I tell you, let me tell you, sweetheart, that was 11 years ago.
Wow.
And they are still together. They got married. They had two more children, and they are factory workers today. They, of course, moved to another place, and no more sleeping in the car, but no more being misunderstood.
That is a success story. And you've got a few comments here from those who are cheering you on. You have Abundant Ab Rebound, who says, you are really a good man. Helping people is something you love to do. Really appreciate your support on Ab Stitches, Devon Empire. And then there is Jacqueline Hunter Richard, who says, I love what you said about people talking at people instead of to people. It's so important in life. Yes, absolutely. We tend to talk to people or talk about them as if they don't have feelings just because they appear to be going through a challenge. But you're showing what can happen when you show humanity. We're going to take another quick break. And when we come back, we'll take a look at some of the efforts that it takes to form coalitions with other organizations that you work with to help provide the services to some of the people that you need, that you help that are in need, and how that actually helps to forge relationships.
And when we get back, I do have the one other story that was the most near and dear to my heart about someone.
Absolutely. Definitely want to hear about that. Well, we will be right back after this quick break. So stick and stay. Don't stray away. We'll be back in a moment.
Absolutely.
And we are back. You're listening to and watching the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. I'm Naima Latif, and our guest today is Dr. Willie Devon Williams, who, am I pronouncing it correctly? Devon? Devon. I think I said it right the first time, Devon. Yeah. Yeah. Willie Devon Williams. And of course, he will be honored at the upcoming We Dream in Color Humanitarian and Unity celebration with a special award for his humanitarian work that he is doing and inspiring others to do as well. So you had another story you wanted to share with us about the success of some of the people whose lives you touched.
Well, this one is not so much a success. This is kind of going back a little bit beyond and what also encouraged me to do it. In my travels, I was stationed down in Atlanta, Georgia, and someone I was working with invited me to a particular mega church there that is still a mega church. So when I go in churches, I'm not really a back seat sitter, but when we got there, I don't like to get there late. We got there as we were coming in, they was telling us we was going to have to sit in the overflow. But right before or at the moment that I had stepped in, there was a gentleman behind us. And this gentleman was a little dirty, not dressed. I couldn't tell. I mean, you don't want to immediately judge to say whether they were homeless or not, but could have been. But from living with the echoes as come as you are, it was very interesting to me. They did not let that man in that church. And that could have been the day that he needed God the most, that he needed people the most. That could have been the day that they could have brought somebody to salvation. And that forever, from that moment, again, I was young, I was in my 20s, lingered with me, that how did you not let him come in? And if needed to be, you have ushers, you have deacons, you have anybody that if he would have acted out or not accordingly. But if it ever touched me, it kind of disdained me for wanting to ever go back to even visit or attend that church. But I didn't understand. I did not understand how that was so disconnected, to come as you are, but I'm not letting you in.
Yeah, so, I have seen that. I have seen that, and it hurts my heart, because that just lets you know that somewhere they're just not understanding the spirit of our Creator and accepting people as they are, because people who need help, they're going to look like they need help. And so they're coming to where they think they can get help. So that is a thing that would be very hurtful to witness, knowing how that must have discouraged that person to be turned away. The one place they thought they would be perhaps welcomed. And you've got another comment here. You're really touching some hearts here. Kelp says, so early in the interview, and I am tearing up thinking of all the work you have done so selflessly, as well as all the blessings you have bestowed upon me and my family. Yes, sounds like a grateful person, a recipient of some of your generosity and compassion.
It's not easy. The tears you cry and the things that you do, I think some will never understand. And that's just how life goes. But on this planet, if any difference that we can make and bestow upon somebody, it will be great. We all won't be received well. I label myself as probably one of the most misunderstood people in America. And I've learned to accept that. Until you see me rather than look at me, then you can get to know me. But oftentimes people don't ever take the time to see a person. They look at a person. So, but when they see me, I tell everybody my motto and my slang for a t-shirt is my mouth is big, but my heart is bigger.
I like that.
So you get past this super rules and supersedes every bit of that.
Absolutely. So what are some of the challenges that you face in helping people who sometimes have reached rock bottom and, you know, may not even know how to express gratitude or even accept the help?
Well, that's it. I mean, that's the biggest challenge. Gratitude is simple for me. A thank you is absolutely enough, and oftentimes you don't get that from some people that I've helped. But my thing about it is the willingness. That is my big word. If I meet you, a friend taught me, Carlos Husky said, let me say this, anybody that's been in my journey in life, when you have been around me past 4 to 6 months, there's a piece of you that I steal from you innocently that I take with me. I'm going to take something from you, Naima, believe it. And I put it in me. And I consider myself this big pot of soup that I take something from you or Jacqueline or Kathy Hunter or whoever, and I mix it. So he was a saying that I love that he was told by someone that had been in his life, that you learn to meet people where they are, but you just may not go on the journey with them. So I try to meet people where they are. But on that note, are you willing to somewhat surrender, to give up some of that and to move out the way? And that was a struggle with me with psychology, that I did not want to sit and have an office after I had worked in it for a little while, to know that the healing rate was so low, between 1 to 5%. Lucky it might be 7% now. I have no pill. I can give you a pill for diabetes, high blood pressure. I can put you on methadone to help you get off drugs. I have no pill to make you feel empowered. I have no pill to make you look in the mirror and feel that you're beautiful when you are. I have no pill to always muster you up for energy. And know that I always want to prescribe you to say, take marijuana, is going to make you feel good. Because once you go on Calgon Take Me Away journey, you come back here to face where you are. But when people, even when they meet with you and sit with you as a therapist, they don't always give you 100% of the truth. They may give you 70, 80, or 50. So how can you heal anyone that's not giving you 100% of the situation or problem? So that has been that struggle.
And I can understand how that could definitely be a struggle, because a lot of times, you know, people, they just really, they've been so used to being treated badly, they don't know how to respond to good treatment.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It can be a shock. People don't get that. And they say, well, I don't believe that they messed that up, or somebody helped them, or somebody housed them, or somebody clothed them, and look what they've done. When you start your life, in some instances, with treatment being so bad, or when you get good treatment, it comes with a condition, then you don't know how to receive earnest and honest and innocent good treatment that is unconditional with no strings attached. Because, you know, you have been trained and conditioned to believe that it comes with something behind it. What are they going to want later? So you have to know that. That's why I believe psychology should be taught from the 6th grade to the 12th. All of them, the clinical, the behavioral, the child. So maybe you can understand yourself better, or at least understand sometimes how others act or behave. Whether you agree, it becomes very relatable.
Yes, and that is true. And we know that there are people out there who may need some help, and may have been too embarrassed to ask because they've been treated badly. You know, if you have reached a point where you're homeless, drug addicted, you might be outdoors, haven't bathed in a while, you're so used to being scorned, and your family may not even want anything to do with you anymore. So it's hard to reach out and ask for help. And we've got your contact information on the screen, where people can learn more about the Canary Affair on your website, www.thecanaryaffair.org, the email, canaryaffair3@gmail.com, and Instagram, Canary Affair, Canary-Affair-WS. And of course, we want to give people contact information for those who are ready to reach out or receive some help. So you have been operating in various locations. Tell us about your work in Nigeria.
Well, the work in Nigeria is not, I haven't actually been. We met, I thought of the idea and I says, well, I met somebody that reminded me of the young Dr. Alexander. So very gifted in design. The difference between those two is that this person was being, how do I say it nicely, had the greatest talent for where they were working, but had the least pay. And so the owner was utilizing their brilliance, and I mean brilliance, utilizing their brilliance to work for them. And so, and when I looked at the financial disparity between them and us, and I'm looking when I said, what are you making per month? And you were just making enough to go to the job, stay there 2 or 3 nights because you couldn't afford transportation back and forth. But you were doing all the wonderful designs, and the owner had businesses in Lagos and Abundance, who probably even Ghana, was able to do it. But this, so when you recognize, and sometimes it takes a person, so this was my outreach, to take a person that didn't understand all of his self-worth and thought that this monthly salary that didn't even afford him to have the independent housing that he deserved. And then you are kind of running, the owner wasn't there. The owner was in a whole nother city, a town, and trusted that you did the deliveries, that you created the design. Phenomenal. And so that is abundant. Eat them. So, and so I said, let's link this. He's very spiritual, very, very godly. And I said, let's link this. Are his desire was to be an independent designer. When you're young, you dream big. So he wants to be known worldwide. And I says, well, I'm in America. You're there. We can start here. We can work our way from there to London, and from there to Ghana. And so that is social media. So we brought it. So what that has done in that business there, what we've done is started last year, November, December. I got licensed. It's a lot. Nigeria is its own beast with for us Americans to do things. So had to get an attorney, get licensed. So I'm legally licensed. The business is legally licensed. AB Stitches by Devon Empire. Really, really, really exciting. Business has boomed. I can't even begin to tell you the amount of orders, but what it has afforded already. There is the apartment over there. There's a lighting over there. There's all of this over there. There's the business over there. I have the 2 employees plus him. I say he's an owner, not an employee. So we have had orders almost too large to complete, and even sending some already to the US and people out of the country. But the goal is, when I get there, and he's already worked on it, to volunteer, to get the schools. We're going to make some free clothing for the children. We're going to donate to the school system, to the education system, and we're going to begin to help. And the employees that we have, and I have there, I pay them the salary different and better than what they were making to live off on, because you wouldn't believe the cost. We talk about inflation. Experience it in Nigeria. Imagine, really, seriously, imagine making $15,000 A month sounds large here, but every taxi ride is 3,000.
Wow.
A
Wow.
meal, a meal at a restaurant, 1,500.
Wow.
You know, yeah, yeah,
That's
it
outrageous.
kills it. So it really is. And until you get to travel up close or witness it from afar, it really is the scale so imbalanced. It is plenty of money there, but then there's all of
Yeah.
the clarity.
And that's what one thing
So
that
I'm
I
going to utilize it there. I didn't get to go. I had a mishap. Um, my passport got took. But anyway, so I'm not. I was supposed to be going on the 28th, and I have a wonderful, good girlfriend who is godly, who believed it just wasn't time to go, and so
and sometimes things happen for
I
unknown reasons.
want to tell her I received that and accepted from her, and I do. But the time will come within this year that I will be there, and I will be there with the sole purpose of helping people there.
That is powerful. That's powerful. We're going to take one last break, and we come back. We're going to share some of more of your comments, and also some more of the very powerful work that Dr. Willie Devon Williams is doing all around the world. We appreciate you so very much. And we'll also share information on how you can give if you want to be a part of this very powerful effort of the Canary Affair. We'll be right back after this quick break, so stay with us.
Hi, I'm Naima Latif, and if you're watching this, that means you're one of the 4.6 billion people from around the world who are using an electronic device to talk to people. In these times, people are using the internet to talk to everybody. Friends, neighbors, family members, co-workers. People are on their cell phones and computers all day long. Now, if you're in business, that is great news. That means you can sell your products and services all day long and never have to leave your home. All you need is a media connection, somebody to connect you to an audience. And that's why I'm talking to you today. We produce programs, and our audience members shop. They buy clothes, food, beauty supplies, cleaning supplies, home repair, transportation services, child care services. Whatever you're selling, they need to buy it. We're your media connection. Just follow this link, and tomorrow you can sit back and relax at home while your business is making you money.
Aha! The Alexander Experience in association with We Dream in Color Foundation presents the 2025 We Dream in Color Humanitarian and Unity Celebration at the historical DuSable Museum of Black History, honoring phenomenal people doing extraordinary things and empowering others to dream big. Save the date, Saturday, July 19, 2025, for an evening of celebrating life in this year of elevation, where unity and diversity meet, history will be made. By the clear vision of the people's chief himself, Chief Tamba Taylor, aka the Are Etesheye of Akola Ijesha Kingdom. VIP red carpet and interviews start immediately by 6:30 p.m. American time. Show presentation starts by 8 p.m. while ticket sale go publicly in mid-May. Contact We Dream in Color Foundation for ticket and reservation. Go to wedreamcolor.org or your favorite honorary. One love.
Yes, and we are back. You're listening to and watching the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. I'm Naima Latif, and of course, our guest today is a fabulous human being who is making life better for so many around the world, and he will be honored at the upcoming We Dream in Color Humanitarian and Unity celebration here in Chicago. Yes. So we're excited about this, and you'll be receiving a special award for your humanitarian work. And we've got some comments here from those who are cheering you on and so grateful for the work that you're doing. And of course, we have a number of your people who have been following your work. And Robin says, congratulations. And
Thank you.
Bettina Frierson says, thank you for being you. You are a beautiful person.
She is too.
Yes, indeed. And, you know, there are those who really appreciate what you do. Jacqueline Hunter Richards said, people may never understand, but God sees you. Once you do anything from the heart, it does not matter at the end. God will continue to guide you.
Thank you, beloved.
Absolutely. Yes.
So.
And our dear sister Zelda from the Higher Learning Network TV show says, oh my God, OMG, may the creator continue to guide you. We're the ones who need to incorporate psychology in the classroom. Amen. Yes.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you.
And of course, she does a homeless, unhoused ministry as well, and feeding those who are in need. And Jacqueline Hunter Richard says, continue the work you're doing.
Yes, good. I might have to connect with her. I might take a trip to Chicago to meet her one day, and I don't mind getting my hands dirty. Others. I'll call it getting our hands clean.
Yeah, that's right. Get your hands clean. And Zelda says, Grand Rising, beautiful people. Thank you for making a difference in the quality of lives of everyone you can connect with. Your brilliance speaks for itself. Namaste. Yes.
Namaste.
Absolutely. Yes. And of course, Dr. Quentin DeAlexander says, well, first we'll see Karen Devonna Smith says, very proud of you, Dr. Williams. Beating all obstacles and helping others do the same. Awesome. Definitely dreaming big. Yes, most definitely.
That's a phenomenal cook right there, baby.
Yes, that is fabulous. And, you know, it's wonderful when people can use their talents in the helping of others. And, you know, of course, this is your feature page on the current edition of the Celina Celebrity Magazine. And Dr. Quentin DeAlexander says, I must have a magazine feature created for abundant ab rebound. Yeah, we rise in unity and balance. Support one love. Yes. So that's apparently another person who's doing some wonderful things. And all of us, we want to encourage each other in doing this work. Sometimes it's thankless. Sometimes people are coming out of their own money, their own pocket, giving. You know, not everybody gets grants and loans and finances to do things. Some people are coming out of their own heart, their own work, their own enterprises, and financing the work that they do in helping others. And of course, you know, the chief, Dr. Quentin Taylor DeAlexander is one of those people as well, because, you know, it takes a lot of heart. And when you have the skills and you're able to generate money and you choose to give it away, that is what really takes heart. But that's what encourages others to do the same.
So I know we're winding down. I want to squeeze this in real quick to not go over. Here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, I also contribute to a battered woman shelter called the Eliza's House. I'm always looking for others. With the current position I'm in, the job that I have, the business I utilize, that there's not a business I'm not going to work with that is not attached to some type of humanitarian deed that I do. I have big parking lot fairs, community days I have in the past. I utilize that for the school book drives, and I have a lady that I'm working with the school. So each and every facet of my life, it takes a quick moment for me to incorporate the humanitarian side and giving. And so that's where we are. I also want to put in a plug that September 13th this will probably be the last year that I will have the Canary Affair in the yard outside. Wear your yellow, understand what the canary means. It is light, it is hope, it is belief. That's why I incorporate the canary bird and the color yellow. That is September the 13th. We only have 60 seats available this year. They're going fast. The donation that we're asking for is $50. And sweetie, with the menu and the open bar, it's nothing to be made. Is just to contribute a donation from your heart so we can help somebody else with a meal or a place or with some therapy or some counseling, even medication. Because guess what? Medicaid is not paying for some things anymore.
That is true.
September the 13th, look it up, the Canary Affair, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And I hope that my beloved on this other end will come and attend.
Well, it sounds fascinating. And we have the information for those who are watching to give. We've got the Zelle and the Cash App and PayPal. And Kelp says, one last thing I'd like to add, Dr. Williams not only employees in Africa, he also employs many here in the States. Yes. So that is phenomenal. And we appreciate you so very much for all the work that you do. Looking forward to seeing you at the upcoming event and encouraging those to give whose hearts have been touched today. If we heard, if we said something that touched your heart, follow your heart and give. There's the donations right there. You can certainly contribute something that makes a difference in the lives of others.
That's for sure.
Yes. So thank you so very much. We appreciate all that you do. And we've got your friend Abundant Ab Rebound that says, God bless you massively. Yes. Well, thank you all so much for joining us on the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. Join us tomorrow. Come on back for Mama Africa's House. And until next time, we want you to continue to shine your light.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Women have the power to transform this world. We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, Dhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, ngiyabonga. Senegal, jareh. Kenya, asante. Israel, toda. Pakistan, shukriya. Afghanistan, tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.